Hi, David. Welcome back to Mindset Mondays. I've missed you.
Thank you. Yeah, missed you too. It's been on the sabbatical and back in action. Really good to see you.
It is great to see you. Yes, we took September off and we are back in full force.
Yes, yes.
So we're having issues with technology today, ladies and gentlemen. So we will do the best that we can. We're not the
Yeah,
only ones having issues.
absolutely. The internet seems to have shut down today.
Yes,
But I might be frozen at times, but we can, as long as the voice is still there, let's do this.
I can hear your voice just fine. So we're good.
Lovely.
So today, one topic that I wanted to discuss that all of us face in life
Yeah,
is change in life.
yeah,
Uh, we are not, most of the time, we don't welcome it. Change is hard,
yeah.
change is different. We like comfortable. Uh, some of us don't even want to change anything in life, right? Some of us, I embrace change now, but
Mm,
but years ago, change was scary to me.
hmm.
And one thing that I've noticed is when something changes, gets flipped upside down, is, for lack of a better term, just a mess and feels
Mm,
like so much turmoil sometimes. On
mm,
the other side of it, I receive so many great blessings, so many wonderful opportunities, and meet so many amazing people.
mm.
So I wanted to discuss that. What are some ways that people can embrace change? We can't always control it. There's a lot of change going on right now in the world, a lot.
Mm. Yeah, there is a lot of change going on. But I mean, change is really, um, for most people, it's difficult because we're programmed as we grow up to, um, obviously, to accept information. When we're a child, we're growing up and we're accepting lots of different information, so we don't think of change as change. But then when you get to 18, 19, 20, you've got to leave home and you get all these fears, and you start deciding about your career and family and going to university, and we get scared. We do get scared because change is like looking into a dark room and we haven't got a light. So it's trusting, well, what's in there. So it's scary because we are we couple change with fear.
Mhm.
So change could be a new job. So if you can imagine that change is a new job, Christine, then you, before you start that job or before you look for a new job, you start asking yourself questions. You have a dialogue with yourself, that inner dialogue, and we can refer to this anytime during these sessions. And the inner dialogue could be, oh, I wonder who's going to be in the new office where I'm working. I wonder if they're going to like me. I wonder if I'm going to fit in. I
Mhm.
wonder. I wonder if I'm going to be any good at this job. And we have all these questions going through our mind, our mindset. And if we're lacking in confidence in any way, or we have some fears, or we have some doubts or worries, then unfortunately our fears may then magnify what we're thinking. And we might come up with, instead of empowering answers, we might come up with disempowering answers. We might suddenly feel, oh, have I made the right decision leaving my last job? You know, I
Right.
wonder if they are going to like me. And we start thinking negative thoughts about change. So really looking at change is something like, is my video working again? Working? No?
There you
Yes?
are.
So looking at change it's trusting. But what I would say to anyone is, think about, you've got three areas of intelligence in your body. You've got your brain, and you've got your heart, and then you've got your gut feeling.
Mhm.
And the majority of us spend so much time up there in our head, and we're having this conversation and we ignore our heart. a lot, and we definitely ignore our gut feeling. Our gut feeling. So
Yes.
the gut feeling could be saying, "No, this job's going to be great. It's going to be a great career move," but your head is thinking, "Is it? It really? I've been, should I have left that last job? It was really a great pension, great benefits. It seemed more secure." So we start asking ourselves lots of different questions up there. So we've moved our focus from the gut all the way up there again. So I think the main thing I want people to think about changes is it's a trust process. Really is a trust that you're gonna get scared, but that's feelings. Feelings. So when I approach change, I used to be so scared that in my entire life I would not make any decisions or not go for that career move, or I wouldn't even travel because I was just afraid. I had these fears, loads of fears, lots of fears of not fitting in, not being liked, the hotel not being as good as I thought it would be. What would the flight be like? So all these different fears catapulted me into a state of inaction. So I didn't take any action. So what I would say to anyone out there is really think about what you want in life, what you want. And if you want something which is different to where you are, you're going to have to, take action. You're going to have to trust, because everything you've ever done in your life has been a consequence of you taking action, taking a risk. So that's really what I'm really want to talk about today is trust. Trust that everything's going to be okay. Trust that it's okay to fail, of course, because we all fail. But if we fail
Absolutely.
forward, we can get to where we want to go. And that requires change. Change is the bridge.
Right. And one thing that I like to discuss is the word failure to me is I see failure as a lesson.
Yeah.
So I've had to switch my thinking. Failure is not a bad thing.
Mm,
It's to me, it's a lesson. What lesson did you get from that that you can apply to your future? And
yes.
a lot of the time, that failure, that lesson causes fear within us. So we are so afraid of that same lesson changing again and that same repetitive action right in life, repetitive story.
Yeah.
And so it's easier to just stay where we're at. And, to me, staying stagnant and not evolving and not growing and not changing things now seems super boring.
Mm,
But years ago, I was with you where, you know, I was just content. I was so afraid of failure. I was afraid of oh, good hell, I was afraid of everything, David.
yeah. Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. Ditto. Ditto. And it's, you know, you've got a choice in life. And I would say choose change, but
Mhm.
also choose what you want. So, in order for you to um, switch careers, sometimes it might mean that you need to be re-educated in something. You might need to do a night school or a degree.
Mhm.
That's change. And too many people look at change also not only as scary, Christine, but also inconvenient. It's not convenient.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Yes, absolutely. Well, think about it with career. You may be going into a whole new field that you're not used to. That's a whole lot of change. A whole lot of different way of living life, maybe, maybe different schedules.
Yeah.
Um, and one change that was huge for me, of course, was divorce and breaking up my family and going into a whole new life that I hadn't lived ever.
Yeah.
Uh, because we get married so young here, and that was scary. Um, just because it's so different and unknown. Which, like you said, it's like walking into a dark room. It's the unknown. Uh, but now that I embrace change, I kind of get excited. Now, a lot of the times with change, not chains, whole different subject. Um, a lot of the time with change comes um pain, maybe, uh, disappointment. I know for me, it's one door closing and a whole new opening. So if I'm focused on the door that's opening more than the door that just closed, then I embrace change.
Mhm,
But turning around, staring at the door that just closed, just
mhm,
brings me anxiety.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah, yes, definitely. Anxiety is fear. It's
Mhm.
always fear. It's always future based. What you are scared of happening, what you're scared might happen again or for the first time,
Right.
the unknown. So yeah, anybody out there who's thinking about anxiety, it's always future based in your timeline. It's something such as you're getting anxious that you're not going to get to your meeting. You're in the car and you're in traffic, you're stuck, and it's good. You've got this really important meeting to get to. And what if you don't make the meeting? What if you're late? What will they say? Are they talking about me? Are they? Am I going to get the job? And all this. Have I let myself down? Have I let my family down? And all these questions are future based, and therefore
Mhm.
you start to build up a little bit of tension in you, and that then leads to anxiety. So um, change is good. It's not comfortable. And anybody out there who wants to make a change, often, there's that old saying, if you want to make an omelette, break some eggs. Of course. And that's the truth. You have to smash up your old paradigm, the way you think. You're going to have to tear it down and think differently. In
Mhm.
order for, say, for me to make a change in my life, I have to start thinking differently. I have to become someone else, become a
Right.
better version of someone else. I can't be the old David from a long time ago. Otherwise, I can't. That he operates at another level, a different level. I don't want to operate at that. I want to operate at a higher level. So, in order to um, attract more things in your life and more opportunities, and to be able to get more ideas, you have to think at a different level. When you start thinking at a different level, you start becoming someone different, a better version of you. It's all about uh, resonate in a different, if we talk about physics, it's a different frequency. We start talking about if you have ever met someone who's changed, you haven't seen them for some time and they've changed, you notice their energy has changed. Maybe they're calmer, they
Mhm.
just seem more at ease with themselves. That's a different energy,
Right.
and you notice it.
Absolutely, you notice it. And for me, if it's a negative impact on them or in my life, to go away. Not literally. They're just I don't attract that anymore into my life. Um, maybe for a hot second. I'm not going to say ever.
Yeah,
Maybe for a hot second. But one thing that just came to my mind when we were talking about the brain, the heart, and the gut and
yeah,
trust is every morning when I look at my mirror, thank you, David,
yeah.
you taught me this. Uh, I have written on my mirror, I trust you and I value you and I love you. And telling yourself that daily will teach yourself to listen to that gut brain, to listen to that gut feeling. And there are times that this brain gets in the way. This one, we
Mhm.
don't like this one. Christine does not like this one because this one gets in the way all the time. The heart. But the gut is my number one go-to now.
Mm,
So if I'm going through some change, which I'm anticipating some change in my life coming
mm,
up, some great change, some
mm,
great opportunities, I'm listening
mm,
to gut. I'm ignoring this one a little bit.
mm. Yes, the heart. When I think about the heart as your emotional center and the center of love. and just keep pouring out love. Keep pouring out love, because that's what we are, is pure love. Keep pouring out love, and then keep listening to your gut feeling. And if you imagine that anxiety or nervousness is in the same place as excitement, it's in your gut.
Mm-hmm.
In your gut, you feel butterflies if you're going on a hot date, whatever that is. And I can't remember. And and excitement is exactly in the same place. So fear and excitement are in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
It's those nerve fibers in your gut light up. So we operate from a place of love, and then
Yeah.
we start. Imagine this to be this sent. This is all about: is it right? Is it wrong? Is it right? Is it wrong? Creativity, logic. Some people are highly logical. Some people are highly creative. So we are wired up so beautifully, but we don't know how to use it. And that's no one ever taught us how to use it. And it's like a journey of how to use it. And I found out the older I get, the more in sync I am with my body and how it works, and trust my intuition, trust my gut. And it's hardwired that way, but it's beautiful. But at the end of the day, it's energy. This is all energy circulating through us, And when you're around someone with great energy, you love it. You absolutely love it, because they represent the best of you. That energy they are emanating is actually the highest point where you love to emanate too. Therefore, when you're with that person, you start to vibrate at a different frequency, because they're already there, and you are already there with them. And conversely, if you're around someone who's very negative or downbeat, it brings your energy down. It immediately brings your energy, because you start to resonate with them, unfortunately, and they start to take your energy, and then suddenly you start to feel your it's almost like somebody's turned down the temperature of the room. You start to lose your temperature. So it's vital for people out there, adding on to what I said earlier on. If you're in a process of change, make sure you're hanging around with the right people who are going to help you affect that change. Hang around with the wrong people, they could put you off. Oh no, don't write that book. Oh no, you don't want to try and go to the Olympics. It's hard work. And immediately your energy comes down, and your thoughts start to change. You ignore your gut feeling, you get hurt, and you don't make any decisions. So there's a lot of factors in change, Christine. There's a lot of factors.
Yes, and I've had to learn to take that as somewhat of a challenge. You and I had a private discussion yesterday, I believe, about, was it yesterday? Saturday? My days, David. It was yesterday, about, leaving people behind in life and this was my discussion. I've had to leave people behind in my life that were very dear to me, because of the negativity and just that, that mindset of, you can't do this, you can't achieve this, you're never going to, I don't want to hear about it. And it brought me down. It felt so heavy. So now I see it as a challenge. Like, oh yeah, watch me. Watch me succeed.
You're gonna have to, if you think, sorry, sorry, I was just thinking aloud.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just thinking, if you think of the mind as split into two, so it's got a subconscious and a conscious, and the subconscious is essentially, it's your slave. It does as you program it to do. So if you program it to learn to drive, it just accepts those commands. So eventually, when you learn to drive, a few years later, you're not thinking about driving anymore, because your subconscious is doing all that. And consciously, you're thinking about what movie you're going to watch tonight, or did you buy the right food for the meal tonight? So your part of your brain is thinking current reality. The other part is operating your muscles and your arms as you drive the car, and your eyes, so you can talk as well as drive because you're subconscious. So the great thing is, the marvelous thing is, your subconscious contains all the negative beliefs you have about yourself, all the negative limiting beliefs, all the fears that you have about yourself, that, oh, I'm smart, or I'm good looking, or I'm likable. It's all in there. It's actually all in there, and it's buried in there. But what you can do is change it. You can actually change it. You can call it whatever you want to, reprogramming, you can clean it out. But essentially what you can do is retrain that worker bee inside of that worker inside of you, who works everything, and retrain it. And it's very, very possible. Very possible.
It is, because I've done it.
Yeah, yeah.
It is
Done it.
very, and I've actually changed a lot of that even in the last year. We met almost a year ago, by the way. In the last year since meeting you, and I will continue. But as you were talking, and you were talking about all of that, the negativity and the subconscious, I was thinking to myself how much progress I've made there myself, and which in turn helps me embrace change
Of course.
and look
Of
forward
course.
to it, right?
Of course. Of course. And it's a case of be, do, have. Be the person to do the things that you'll have what you want. Most people think it's the other way around.
No.
You have to be the person. So
Mhm.
everything has got to be aligned with your higher self, that highest part of you, everything. If anything is aligned with the ego or your negative self, you're just not going to have a good time. It's got to be aligned with your higher self, everything. And it's not easy, because we're used to blaming, complaining, judging, criticizing. All that is aligned with your lower self, that ego self. Your higher self doesn't. Your higher self doesn't need to blame others or complain. It doesn't. It takes responsibility, and it understands, because it wants the best for you. That's the part of you which wants to give love and receive love in that circular fashion. Give it, receive it, give it, receive it.
Right. And higher self knows that the path that you're on is the right path, and it's going to be amazing.
Exactly.
As long as you don't veer.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing that will take you off path is you. You
Mhm.
self-sabotage. And if you're in fear, you'll miss all the signals. You'll miss all the cues in life, which is life is happening for you,
Mhm.
not for you. And I truly believe that statement.
Yes. Oh, sabotage. That's a whole other, we could have a whole show on self-sabotage in so many areas of life because of fear of change or despair in general. We should actually do that. That would be great.
Oh,
What's that?
we will indeed.
Yes, we will. Well, I appreciate you so much. It's so great to speak with you and see you again. You are amazing.
Am I frozen, or can you see me?
You are frozen. You have been for a while, but you look great.
Let me see if I can unfreeze. I didn't know. Are we frozen? Still frozen?
No, there you are.
Yes. So change is great, but it's
Mhm.
not easy.
Right.
Anybody wants that? But we're talking positive change.
Mhm.
So positive change, and it's what go for what you want in life, and we can do an entire day training on this, on change and what you want. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, we can do an entire day training, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's exciting. exciting. I know you're going through a lot of change in this time. I know that, and likewise, and I think it is an exciting. A lot of people out there are going through change at the moment, but don't be scared. Embrace it.
Yes. Yes. Just hold on tight. I am actually super excited for all of the change going on in my life. All of it. I have so many irons in the fire, so many things going on that I'm
Yes,
just so excited about and manifesting wonderful things in life.
yes.
So I embrace it. I'm excited about it. And I would love to see everyone else on that train of let's do this shit.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Well, thank you again, David. Always a pleasure.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you next week.
Indeed. Take it
Bye.
easy. Bye.